is a place on Earth. Its name is synonymous with wildness, with desolation. Yet in its haunting isolation are hidden some of the rarest and most astonishing creatures left on Earth. The place is an Eden called Patagonia.
Funding for this program is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you.
This land offers no haven for ordinary creatures. In the course of millions of years, only a few species have learned to survive in this realm of extremes, a kingdom of endless punishing winds. Those who can live here are among nature's most indestructible offspring. Here, even the sun seems to be born on the wind. Through months of howling winter darkness, the denizens of Patagonia have somehow endured. They now await the coming of summer and of new life. Patagonia covers more than 250,000 square miles at the end of South America. The land has many faces, none welcoming, few familiar. This is the emptiest place on the continent. 300 miles east from the Andes, beyond primeval wastelands the size of nations, lies another 1,000 miles of virgin coastline. Along these barren shores, strange visitors will soon arrive. Creatures as outlandish and untamable as the region itself. The southern elephant seal. For 100,000 years, mighty bulls like this have lumbered onto Patagonian shores, driven by the instinct to mate. At 3 tons and nearly 20 feet, their displays of male power are deafening. To the victor will go the prize, a harem of blubbery sons. Despite the sound and fury of these bloody battles, they are never fatal. The loser will be back to fight another year. With their chests protected by thick shields of callus, and with bodies fully one-third blubber, these giants quickly recover from even the most brutal of fights. Elephant seals are not at home on land. These females have beached themselves only reluctantly, just in time to give birth to a single pup. A rocky beginning, but no harm done when you're born at a strapping 80 pounds. Mother and baby begin to bond instantly, imprinting on each other's voices and smells. The mothers and their pups will be inseparable and nearly immobile for the next 25 days. Their springtime on these shores is devoted mainly to nursing and resting. No nourishment here ever goes to waste. Within 3 weeks, mother's fat-rich milk will have tripled the baby's body weight. But mother will have lost nearly half of hers. Soon hunger will draw her back to the ocean. One day soon, the pup will no longer hear her call to him in the waves. After she has bred, she will swim away and be gone for good. The pup will stay ashore on his own, living off his fat. In 2 months, instinct will finally carry him to his true home, far at sea. Having defeated all rivals, this bull has earned first right to breed with any female in his territory. His nose reports instantly when one of his harem is red. While utterly lacking in graces, the huge bull is not an entirely insensitive mate. When he couples with the female, who is only a fraction of his weight, it is side by side. In this way, the bull will attend to the 20 or 30 other females he has won this season on the sands of Patagonia. Hundreds of miles inland toward the Andes, Patagonia's resident population is everywhere about, soaking up what warmth they can glean through the icy winds. High above them, members of the world's last wild population of condors flock and thrive. Here, the prehistoric vulture has found the precious isolation required for its slow and careful ways. Were it not for this unspoiled Eden, it would never have been known that condors meet at secret rock pools high on mountain ridges. That here they carefully bathe their featherless heads and groom their delicate plumage. In these hidden sanctuaries, the condors have the time needed to fully dry their feathers. Their massive wings are so lightly made that even a slight amount of moisture will impair their ability to fly. Though condors roost and feed and bathe communally, their nests are solitary affairs, high up, hidden from all others. Here, every other year, a pair that has bonded for life begins again a slow and graceful courtship. The male may spend days or weeks enticing the female to mate with an elaborate fan dance of his wings. A high alpine meadow softened with thaw is the favorite haunt of the guanaco. Among the last truly wild camels on Earth, the guanaco is at home in every corner of Patagonia. Their adaptation to this land is complete. Summer and winter, they carry their sole protection in the fleece on their backs. A carefree dust bath fluffs their coats for perfect insulation. The screams of male competition herald the opening of summer. Though they live together in casual herds all winter, now the males will chase each other ragged. The mutual torment continues for weeks as the males jockey for territory and harem. The young males excluded from the herd eagerly imitate. They are practicing for survival. But in Patagonia, the normal rough play of youth can be fatal. This simple mishap will be a windfall for the puma. The puma will feast on the kill for several nights, carefully hiding it by day. When the cat has finished with his prey, the remnants will mean life to countless other creatures. In this harsh land, nothing can be wasted. The Andean condor, a scavenger, is the most enormous flying bird in the world. With its impressive 10-foot wingspan, the condor uses wind currents to soar for hours on end. It conserves precious energy by flapping its wings only occasionally. study a feeding site for up to 2 days before moving in. The key to its long history of survival is not power or cunning, but caution. The flock will land on a carcass only when they're certain it's safe. The pecking order among the hissing Malay is simple and strict. The ranking males eat first and most. In the larger pecking order, a hungry fox must be yielded to. For all their great size, condors' small beaks and weak claws are poor defense against a true predator. Though smaller, the fox possesses the simple but formidable gift of teeth. It is now the fullness of Patagonian summer, and both food and life are bountiful. For Guanaco mothers, the birth of a calf is an annual and nearly effortless part of life. By the end of its first hour, this newborn will be able to easily outrun a human. Though the baby, called a chalengo, will be able to forage for itself in a matter of weeks, mother will continue to nurse it for half a year. parent must always fly home with its gullet full of meat. Back in the nest, everything has changed. 3 months ago, this ungainly baby shed its shell. And already it is nearly as huge as its mother. This demanding little big bird is a full-time job for its parents. It may consume a fourth of its weight at a single feeding. Baby has no way out of its lofty nest, and nothing to do but beg for food and grow for half a year, until its downy feathers have fallen away and given it real condor wings. Miles to the north, high above even the condor's haunt, the Andes hide yet another wonder of the world. This colossus is the glacier Perito Moreno. "200 feet high, its spires are made of thousands of years' worth of Patagonia's snowfall, caught by the mountains, hoarded in its freezer. 22 miles long and 3 miles wide, this frozen giant is alive. The glacier has lived on in this way for millions of years. Time and mortality mean nothing here. On the Patagonian shore, life moves to a far different rhythm. An army fueled by urgency has just invaded. These improbable creatures are Magellanic penguins, also known for their braying as jackass penguins. They are denizens not of snowfields and ice floes, but of temperate southern waters and these desert shores. This entire host, some 200,000 birds, are males. They have come to this parched spit of land to breed, just as their forefathers have done for generations. Every few feet on this outpost is a nest owned by one of these mates. Somehow, each male will eventually find the same nest he left 6 months ago. A nest to which he returns every year of his adult life. It's not much of a house, but he'll guard it with his life, for it guarantees his chance to mate. For 2 weeks, the nest will be dug out, freshened up, and decorated in anticipation of the arrival of the female. One fine morning, the sleek ladies appear. They have just swum 1,500 miles from the waters off Brazil. This will be the first dry ground they have touched in half a year. Each female has come to listen for a special call. Somewhere among these 200,000 males is her lifelong mate. This pair, however long it may take, will recognize each other's voices. The reunion is enthusiastic, but little time is lost to foreplay. They will couple repeatedly in the first days to make certain she conceives. At last, it's time to inspect the nest. A generous word for a dusty hole in the ground. But this will be the couple's sole habitation for 5 long months. Poor as it may be, this nest is a better piece of real estate than many. There are other males who would try to steal it. Though they are peaceable birds the rest of the year, tempers are now short. The lesson is a punishing one. The victor braves his triumph. He has successfully defended the only things that matter now, a female and a nest. The loser is left to bear his wounds. Life is tough for a water bird who must spend summer in the desert, but a few scattered tide pools provide an essential oasis. Here the penguins can quench their thirst and rid their protective coats of the dust and grime of this harsh land. For birds who live on the outskirts of the colony, the trek from tide pool back to the nest can be a grueling, mile-long ordeal. also endure the intrusions of the ever-curious guanaco and a fellow species of flightless birds called rares. Not far away, one of the rarest of all animals comes to call in the bays. The southern right whale. Among the gentlest of giants, this whale is buffeted the year long by the wild southern seas that swirl around Cape Horn. Here, in the shallow bays of Patagonia, they find the peace to mate and bring forth their young. Each mature female comes every third year to bear a single 2-ton calf, which she has carried for 11 months. These quiet whales are sensitive and tactile. Mother and baby circle and caress, rarely moving beyond the reach of each other's touch. Safe in these lagoons, the whales play by the hour, sailing the bays by lifting their tails into the ever-present Patagonian wind. In the long Patagonian summer, the clouds scudding by will dispense rain only occasionally, for a few minutes at a time. For the water-loving penguins now entering their 5th month in the desert, rain is a blessing of almost overwhelming sweetness. After 40 days of constant incubation, 2 chicks have been born to the mated penguin pair. Caring for them requires all the strength of both parents. Mother and father constantly alternate fishing and feeding to satisfy the chicks' insatiable appetites. Any strength they have left is spent defending the young and themselves from marauding skua birds, scavengers who will devour any meat they can find. Constant competition weeds out the weak. In Patagonia's dry months, there is often not enough for everyone. The indifference of this parched land began in volcanic calderas like these 20 million years ago. In a violent upheaval, the Andes were lifted from sea level to 13,000 feet. The youngest of Earth's mountain ranges, the greedy peaks steal nearly all of the 200 inches of rain that surge in from the Pacific. Beneath the new mountains, mighty rainforests were left to become gigantic fossils. All that remains of once lush forests are scattered shards of petrified wood. In this rain-shadowed desert, only the hardiest of creatures have been able to survive. There is abundant wind and heat, but no rainfall here for months at a time. Those who intend to endure must carry their food and their lives underground. Ancestors of the hairy armadillo were here long before the Andes were born. Omnivorous and well-armored, he personifies survival. Yet even he must burrow out of the wind. In Patagonia, the wind is known as La Escoba de Dios, the broom of God. It sweeps away anything weak or faltering, leaving a waterless mirage of dwarf trees. Yet from this harsh crucible, marvelous creatures have evolved. The mara, about 2 feet tall, seems a wild cross between guinea pig and hare. She will nurse her young for several months as they grow and learn to graze this weather-beaten wilderness. Mara are found only on the Patagonian steppes, and one day they will run at speeds of 25 miles an hour. The tiny burrowing owl is another miracle of adaptation to this wind-blown land. Instead of flying, it has learned to dance across the prairie in search of food. The 5-ounce bird requires little. A single beetle is a family meal to be savored and shared. This thorny badlands in the middle of nowhere is the preferred haunt of the strange, flightless raya. Stranger still are its family habits. The mother hen is a male. In a nest hidden somewhere near this watering hole, he incubated and hatched every one of these chicks, some 50 or 60 in all. Various females came, laid their eggs, and left. The entire brood is now his and only his to protect and raise. In the entire 1,000-mile length of Patagonia, only 1 or 2 rivers flow year-round from the Andes to the sea. During the peak of the summer thaw, cascades of melted snow thunder down to the desert. Most of the torrents soon peter out, coming to rest in scattered, shallow lakes. These oases are magnets for a seemingly impossible array of bird life. Some have traveled several thousand miles to reach these ephemeral lakes and feast on their fleeting bounty of food. The sun-warmed shallows offer up a whole salad of succulent grasses or a mere dip of the head. Fall is now approaching, and the days grow imperceptibly more hostile. The last of Patagonia's summer visitors has come ashore to bear its next generation, the southern sea lion. A carefree sea lion pup has no clue that its brief childhood will be a gauntlet of almost incredible cruelty. The massive sea lion males engage in constant skirmishes, often trampling their own young in the struggle to control their territory. The noise and chaos can disorient the pups, frightening them away from the main colony. At the fringe, they will find violent clusters of adolescent males. An innocent pup can become a pawn in their fearsome shows of dominance. The pup cannot hear his mother's call. In his search for her, he strays into the most dangerous part of the colony. These subadult males without manes do not look so different from the females. But they are. Teeming with hormones and exiled from breeding by mature bulls, the adolescent male's frustration fuels cruel displays of thwarted power. They will often kill a pup in these displays, but this youngster is lucky. He has stumbled into the territory of an adult bull, a boundary the adolescents dare not cross. Finally, the battered baby finds relief in a group of other pups and mothers. His own mother, in fact, may be out with other restless females who are beginning their return to the sea. From the time their pups are a week old, mothers will leave them for hours at a time in order to surf and feed in the high tide. But the sea lions are not the only large, hungry mammals looking for food in these waters. At high tides, killer whales patrol the shores, looking for unwary pups. sea lion pups, which they can swallow whole, are a delicacy. Killer whales have learned to conceal themselves until they are almost at the beach. One in 5 sea lion mothers will lose her pup to this 2-month-long feeding frenzy. Down with its chill winds, the Magellanic penguins at last prepare to leave the desolation of the Patagonian shore. The fledglings, only 3 months old, confidently march to the sea for their first journey to the penguins' northern feeding grounds. The youngsters will have to find their own way over 1,500 miles of trackless sea. No one knows how they chart their course. The days grow chill in the Patagonian interior, and condors move down from their eyries. They gather to witness a ritual. The condor chick, pampered and adored, is ready to attempt first flight. Awkward still, it will be 6 more years before the youth has full adult plumage and can take its rightful place among the ancient monarchs of the sky. Like the condor, the guanaco will stay and endure the Patagonian winter, a world of sub-zero temperatures and 16-hour nights. Patagonia's continents will soon return to a frozen still life. Again, these icy towers will stand unchanging against the tempests of another howling winter, and no one will be witness. For here is a vision of the beginnings of the earth at the very end of the earth. And there are wonders that can only unfold in a place that time and man have left behind. A place like the wild Eden of Patagonia.